Welcome to this explainer. Look, today we're bringing you a high-impact, super shareable blueprint to actually launch a micro business and redefine your entire future. We're pulling this directly from Chris Guillebeau's groundbreaking book, The $100 Startup. If you've ever wanted to take massive, intimidating business concepts and distill them into bite-sized, truly actionable steps, well, you're in exactly the right place. Okay, let's just dive straight into this number, because it completely shatters the myth that you need massive capital, angel investors, or some giant bank loan to launch a successful company. Technology has completely rewritten the rules of the game here. Today, it's faster, easier, and just dramatically cheaper to build a small business. In fact, $100 is often way more than enough to get your ideas off the ground.
I want you to ask yourself a pretty profound question right now. What if escaping the traditional job market, doing something meaningful that you actually love, and defining your own lifestyle costs the exact same amount you might spend on a nice dinner out? I know, it sounds a bit like a gimmick, right? But the research proves it's a very tangible reality for a massive wave of entrepreneurs taking part in this micro-business revolution.
And look, this isn't just an empty promise or some fluffy motivational speech. The author, Chris Guillebeau, rigorously investigated this whole phenomenon. He identified exactly 1,500 ordinary individuals who actually took action and fundamentally changed their lives. And from those 1,500, he zeroed in on the 50 most fascinating case studies just to figure out exactly how they pulled it off. Here's the hard proof. We're talking about ordinary people consistently generating $50,000 or more in annual net income from tiny, low-risk investments of $100 or less. And honestly, the best part? Almost none of them had special skills, elite degrees, or secret industry connections. No way. They just followed a specific blueprint. So, Section 1, the foundation. Let's talk about finding your convergence point. Before you spend a single dollar, you really need to know where your perfect business idea actually hides. And you don't need a massive world-changing idea either. You just need to find this exact intersection, what Guillebeau calls the point of convergence. Basically, it's the sweet spot where what you naturally love to do meets something that other people actually find useful. It's about taking your passion, pairing it up with whatever random, unrelated skills you might have, and directing all of that laser focus toward helping others and creating real value. Now, this is absolutely crucial. Customers don't just buy products, they buy emotional benefits. Human needs are fundamentally emotional, you know? We all have this deep need for love, affirmation, and connection. Think about it. People booking a weekend at a horse ranch aren't just paying for a horse ride. Actually, scratch that. They aren't paying for the ride at all. They're buying a sense of escapism, happiness, and just a break from their daily grind. Even a lot of restaurants aren't really selling food. They're selling a relaxing sanctuary after a hard day's work. Your business absolutely has to articulate and deliver that specific emotional benefit. This means we need to completely rethink our audience. Stop targeting your customers based on old-school, traditional demographics like age, zip code, or income brackets. Instead, if you want to build a fiercely loyal micro-business following, you have to connect with what we call the new demographics. These are groups of people united entirely by their shared passions, beliefs, values, and interests. It's a total community-first approach. All right, moving on to Section 2, execution. We're looking at the one-page business plan. So, now that we know who we're selling to and what emotional value we're providing, how do we actually execute? Well, the absolute biggest trap new entrepreneurs fall into is getting totally bogged down in endless corporate planning. It completely kills your momentum. If you want to succeed, you have to prioritize action over perfection. You do not need a 40-page document with 5-year financial projections. You just need to quickly outline a one-page plan, focus immediately on taking action, and just plan the rest as you go. Avoid sinking massive resources or time into this until you've actually tested your core idea in the real world. I highly recommend you literally screenshot this right now. If you're building out a business profile for social media or your website, use this exact formula to draft a killer 140-character mission statement. It perfectly and concisely defines exactly what you offer, who you offer it to, and most importantly, what emotional result you're delivering to them. Fill in those blanks, and you are good to go. Okay, Section 3, action. Let's get that first sale. With our simple one-page plan drafted and our short mission statement locked in, it's time to bring this whole shebang to life and get some real-world momentum. This right here is a complete game changer. Market before manufacturing. You have to test that demand actually exists before you sink your savings, or worse, borrowed money, into making a physical product or building out some complex service.
Keep your costs ultra low by investing your own sweat equity first. False starts are super common in business, so minimize the financial impact of any potential failure by making absolutely sure people want what you're selling before you build it. So many people freeze up because they're terrified of competitors. But at the very beginning, your true enemy is just standing still. Inertia. Securing that very first sale, even if it's tiny, is the ultimate morale booster. It provides the exact motivation you need to overcome your own hesitation, prove your concept actually works, and just keep pushing forward.
Finally, Section 4, the future. Let's talk about growth and your next steps. Once you've had a taste of success and managed your money to keep your ongoing costs as low as possible, it is time to scale. And here's a secret that surprises a lot of first-time founders. It's actually much easier to grow an existing business than it is to start one from scratch. You don't need a massive overhaul to make more money. You can boost your profits immensely just by making small, calculated tweaks to these 4 specific areas. Driving just a little more traffic, slightly improving how many of those visitors convert to buyers, testing a minor increase in your sales price, or just offering something new to the customers who already love you.
As you grow at your own ideal pace, you're inevitably going to hit a crossroads where you have to decide on your ultimate path. You have to choose between 2 distinct models. The $100 startup model is all about maintaining a small, freedom, or lifestyle business based on doing what you love. On the flip side, the build-to-sell model means going all in, creating a standalone entity with a full team, specifically designed to be sold off later for a massive financial reward. Both are totally valid, but you have to know which game you're actually playing. So we've seen the blueprint, we've seen the hard proof, and we know exactly how to execute without breaking the bank. The barrier to entry has quite literally never been cheaper or easier than it is right this second. All the old excuses, they're gone. The only real question left is, what is your $100 idea, and what is stopping you from launching it today? I really hope this explainer gave you the exact tools you need to get started. Thanks for hanging out with me, and keep learning.